if you are thinking about buying in a gated community in Palm Springs or Palm Desert, I'm Daniella Parker, and this video is going to save you from an expensive mistake. I have helped a lot of buyers navigate this market, and here's what I can tell you after working with clients relocating here from LA, Orange County, and from across the country and around the world as well. So your options look broader than they are, and they're more complicated than they appear. On the surface, you see, it feels simple, right? You see the gate, you see the golf course, nice landscaping, a fountain, a lake maybe, and you think, okay, these are all kind of the same. Well, let me tell you, they are not. And that gap between what looks the same and what actually is, that's exactly where I see buyers get burned. So let's break it down, all of it. Because if you're going to spend this kind of money in the desert, you deserve the full picture. Let's talk about the reality of gated living in the desert. And if we want to start with something that surprises a lot of buyers who come from New York master planned cities like something outside of Phoenix or Las Vegas or even Irvine, Palm Springs and Palm Desert develop very, very differently. A lot of these communities were built in phases over decades, which means inside the same gate, sometimes even on the same street, you can have either a fully renovated turnkey homes and right next door completely original from the 70s or the 80s interiors, different architectural styles as well, very different levels of upkeep and landscaping. So just because it's gated doesn't mean it's consistent. You cannot assume that because the entrance looks polished, every home behind it meets that same standard. That's not how these communities were built, and that's not how they evolved neither. This matters when you are buying because it affects your experience as a resident, and it absolutely affects resale. So the biggest factor most buyers ignore is land ownership, okay? This is the one I want you to really pay attention to. In the Coachella Valley, some gated communities sit on what's called fee land, meaning you own the land, it comes with the home, typical standard. But others sit on lease land, meaning you own the structure, the home itself, but not the ground underneath it. You're essentially leasing that land, sometimes from a tribe and sometimes from another entity. And trust me, that changes everything. Financing can be different because of that. Some lenders are more restrictive on leasehold properties, so your mortgage option may be smaller, narrower. Resale can also be harder, not impossible, but harder. It takes sometimes longer because your buyer pool shrinks. Not everyone will qualify, and actually not everyone will want to qualify. Also, monthly costs can increase over time. Lease rates are renegotiated, and when they go up, your cost of living goes up, whether you plan for it or not. Now, leasehold properties aren't bad at all. Some of the most beautiful, iconic homes in this valley are on this land, especially in Palm Springs, but you need to know before you buy, not after. And if your agent doesn't bring this up in the first conversation, ask them directly. Is this fee or lease land? That one question will tell you a lot about the property. Let's talk about lifestyle vs reality. What's the actual vibe here? A lot of people come to Palm Springs and Palm Desert thinking, I want quiet, privacy, a real neighborhood feel. Well, I hear this constantly because relocation is actually a big part of my business. I specialize in it, and a lot of my clients are moving here from somewhere else totally entirely, whether that's the Bay Area, the East Coast, or even internationally. And I moved here from Paris, France myself, so I genuinely understand that experience of choosing a completely new place to, raise your family or plant roots. And here's what I've learned from walking dozens of buyers through this process and what you have to find out before you commit to this place. Short-term rentals. Some communities allow them, some restricts or ban them. And that changes everything about who your neighbors are and how often they rotate. Which brings me to discussing full-time resident versus second home owners. Some communities are full of people who live there year-round. Others are primary vacation properties. So in the summer, it can feel like a ghost town. The seasonal swing is real. Desert communities have a real season. High season runs roughly October through April. Outside of that, it quiets down significantly. And how a community feels in February versus August can be completely different. You could be expecting peace and a sense of community and end up next to a property that rotates Airbnb guests every 3 days, even though they really try to control that. None of that shows up in the listing photos, right? You have to ask and you have to know where to look. So now, why people buy gated in the first place? I want us to step back for a second because understanding why buyers choose gated communities will help you get honest about whether it's right for you or not. And typically, there are usually 3 things driving the decision. Control. So let's talk about the HOAs. HOAs regulate what happens around you, how homes look, what can be parked where, what you can and cannot do with the property, correct? So for some buyers, that's a relief. It also offers consistency, landscaping design standards, upkeep, more predictable than a non-gated neighborhood where anything can happen next door. Also, for the lifestyle, you have pools, golf, tennis, pickleball, social events, you have a built-in scene. But here's the catch. Not every gated community delivers all 3. Some will give you control but no real sense of community. It's very quiet, maybe too quiet. Some give you an active lifestyle but very little privacy. You're constantly running into people. Some look like luxury from the outside, but inside the homes are dated and the HOAs has deferred a lot of maintenance. So you have to be clear on what you actually want. And then you need to verify that the community actually delivers it. Now, the mistakes I see over and over. This is the one I want to leave with you because I see it constantly. Buyers fall in love with the idea of a community instead of understanding how it actually works. So buyers will focus on the gate, the golf course, and the photos or the picture. And they don't ask this: who actually lives here? What does the HOA actually allow and restrict? What about pets? What are the long-term costs? How has resale performed in this community? What's the turnover? And here's why that matters. The gate is just the entrance. What's behind is where you're actually going to live. So the questions that are easy to skip: land status, rental rules, occupancy mix, HOA financials, those are the ones that come back to haunt you. As your advisor, here's what to focus on instead. So what should you actually be evaluating? Here's a real checklist, not a marketing checklist. So number 1, land status. Fee or lease land, get that confirmed in writing early. And number 2, HOA rules, especially around short-term rentals and any major upcoming assessment. Number 3, the condition of the surrounding homes, not only your listing, not just the listing, but the block. Number 4, how's the community feel? If you can talk to residents, that would be wonderful to ask about off-season lifestyle. I want you to think, does this work for me and how am I going to live in 5 years? Because the goal isn't just to get inside the gate, it is to choose the right gate for how you actually want to live. And just understand this. Gated communities in Palm Springs and Palm Desert can be truly incredible places to live. I've seen people find exactly what they were looking for and build a lifestyle they love here. They will never swap it for anything else. But they are not interchangeable. And the difference between a smart buy and a regret is almost always the same thing. Understanding what's behind the gate, not just the gate itself. So, if you are thinking about making a move to the desert and you want someone who will actually walk you through this, not just show you the pretty homes, I'm here for that conversation. Scan the QR code on the screen. That will take you to a quick form where you can answer a few questions, and that will tell me what you're looking for, and that will help you find the community that fits your life, not just your Instagram feed. Here we go. I'll see you in the next one.